demonetized on YouTube.
Was I?
We weren't getting money, Sean. We probably had 11 views.
Hey, you did
The
it.
iguana? The iguana here?
Oh, you got your child with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no choice. Stop. Fuck.
Yes.
All right, CFB podcast episode 1. Right off the bat, most interesting thing to talk about, probably related to CFB right now, is the demise of CFB 1. Talking about what went wrong in the other league. I'm gonna hand it over to Bobby to kind of go into this. Like what happened? What happened day of, right? Morning starts up, chat's going fine, league's moving as planned. Like, how do we get from there to here?
All right, so this is a long story. So me and them boys have been talking about this college football league. I mean, probably before we even knew the game was officially going to drop or not, right? So I had my vision for what I thought the league was going to be. At all times, I thought it'd just be NRG college football for those who wanted to come. That was my vision for it. Obviously, filling 32 was my vision for it, but I didn't have the crew. Like I didn't have people with me. You know what I mean? To say, hey, we're going to do this. So I kind of was just hoping one of them started it, which they did, and then they hit me up, and I think they hit up Jay as well, and was like, hey, we're gonna bring y'all in so y'all could just, work the schedules. We are pretty much running the league, but we need somebody to run the schedules. And that'll kind of help it look, not as suspect, like they control everything. They got different parties involved, right? So I was like, cool. Once we get into the chat or whatever, to start understanding the dynamic of the chat, personally, I felt like I was there to work, but had no voice. And it didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go. And so with that, like I'm all about how I'm perceived. So I don't want to be a part of something that I don't support, if that makes sense. So like you've even said yourself, you thought I was part of the Teddy downfall, whatever was happening with you and whatever. I wasn't privy of none of the DMs.
I
didn't
didn't
know what
DM
was
you
going
one
on.
time.
Exactly. So
For
like
that reason, I was like, I guess everyone's on the same page.
yeah, so I'm not privy to all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, which is fine because they even told me up front that the league was for, them and their homeboys and that they didn't want to grow it as big as I did. So I was like, okay, cool. I still probably play because I really had nowhere else to go. So I was like, cool. But the agreement was, hey, I got a homeboy. Matter of fact, my homeboy that bought me this jersey, he a Miami fan, right? So I was like, hey, he want Miami. I only got two friends, Miami and Chubby. And they were like, well, Quinn like Miami. So I was like, okay, cool. It was like they can play each other for it. So that was fair. Play each other for it or whatever. Chubby had Ohio State. So mind you, before this, it was like little stuff in the chat that I feel like every time my voice, I'm vocal. Like if I have an opinion, I'm gonna voice my opinion. So I said what I thought should happen. I felt like they didn't tell me to shut up and they weren't being rude, but you can kind of feel vibes. So I kind of felt like every time I suggested something, they didn't like, not everybody, but certain people just didn't like the suggestion. So it was just like, okay. So I ain't trying to argue with them either because I ain't trying to be in here for all that. What really tipped it for me though, what broke the camel back was when, like I said, Chubby was supposed to get Ohio State. Add Chubby to the chat. Chubby comes in being Chubby, talking shit. You get me?
Yeah.
Oh, so Chubby comes in talking shit, and then that pissed people off, which I didn't understand because other people were already claiming their teams and talking shit. So once that happened, I was like, okay, cool. I don't understand why they mad. Ain't no big deal. They mad. I mean, but they ain't said nothing yet. A couple days later, I get a text message like, hey, our homeboy gonna take Ohio State. So I'm like, I ain't no bitch. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't even get that from you. You know what I mean? Working the schedules wasn't going to be an easy task. That was probably going to be the most complicated thing of, I was offering to do the graphics once again, which not saying it took me all night, but that shit took me hours of my life right now to get it done. You know what I mean? So I was offering stuff that I was going to bring to the league. The least I could do is get my boys their teams. And that's what we agreed to. If we never agreed to it, that was fine, but that's what we agreed to. So I was just like, I thought about it for a couple of days. Our committee chat kind of went quiet. We weren't even talking in there. And then the team selection process got posted. So in my head, which I probably was wrong after talking to B, but I wasn't going to reach out about it. I was like, so clearly they having conversations about how the league gonna go and not involving us. So I was like, I'm just going to depart and just be a part of. I was just going to be a member in the league. I wasn't going to be a part of the committee. So I voiced my opinion in our chat, and then before I could see what they responded with, B kicked me. And I think that's what really started the Suge Knight approach to the whole thing. Like, oh, so you kicked me, so like fuck me, cool.
You got kicked from the commiss chat?
Yeah, I got kicked.
Oh, see, I thought the whole time Jay was referencing you got kicked from the league. I didn't realize. Oh,
No, I left the league. I got kicked from the commiss chat.
oh, I didn't know that.
So after that happened, I think I hit up Jay and was like, hey, I'm leaving the league. This is my idea. Jay was like, hey, I'm cool with helping out. Well, he pretty much said that you and him were probably gonna start a league. And I pretty much like, hey, how things are going, I think I kind of want to, and I only want to be a commissioner, but I want to be a commissioner now. And so we can work together. And so I think from what the few days we've been together, I think it was a good idea. Just being honest. I mean, me and Jay ain't friends. Like, we ain't grow up together. We ain't got no ulterior motives. We just want the best league for everybody. Brought in the right people to help it get facilitated the right way. So I think, like I told B, it was all part of God's plan, man. That's long story short.
On the flip side of that, I'm having these same conversations with Jay and B all week, especially Jay. We were talking a lot, like 72 hours leading up to that. And I'm just pissed all week. I'm actually, you could tell, you could ask Sean. I'm in the commiss chat every hour just talking so much shit about the pro. I was just really mad about the whole thing. Because it felt like on one end of NRG, it's like, Teddy, help me with this. Teddy, do this. Hey, what's up? What's going on with what's in Ray's head right now? What are you guys thinking? And I'm always like giving some info and helping like certain people out. And then I entered the CFB chat and it's like, I'm Quinn. I'm like one of those randoms in NRG that just hangs around. And I was like they were almost talking to me in different languages across different chats. I was like, what are we doing here? So I thought it was kind of a joke because we always mess around. Very clearly, I was like, this isn't a joke. Pretty serious. And I was okay picking another team. It was really that announcement message that pissed me off. Like by the way, like our boys are getting our teams, and Teddy, you're not a fan of anything. You'll figure it out like everyone else.
And so that's what I didn't agree. So, and not saying that wasn't okay. So if we left that part in the committee chats for the committee to discuss, that's fine. Like, that's why you put stuff like total member concept into it. Not saying that we swayed the vote anyway. I feel like that was fair as possible. But to me, in certain situations, you don't want to release too many details because that just leaves people room to fucking, come up with their own ideas in their own head. And so that's why I wanted to avoid that being put out. Their plan initially was to get everybody one. If you have a favorite team, we want you to be with that team. That brings more passion to the game, more fuel for the fire. For you going to LSU, I was opposed to you getting LSU if there was an LSU fan. So I felt like, no, Teddy shouldn't get LSU if we have a LSU fan. That just made sense. Now, did I say Teddy should be in the back of the bus? Hey, I ain't had nothing to do with that part.
That's the next thing. I just like, if it was like, okay, these are the true fans, 12 people, but like Teddy, Ray, Sean, you guys got like 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
And then, like I said, I kind of didn't know what we were going off of anymore because then you have people like, Neek, who I think Neek is D Davis. I don't know if it might not be, but either way, this guy has no proof with commitment or no timeline. But that's all they told me for Chubby. Hey, Chubby ain't committed. Chubby be going ghost. I'm just like, okay, man. So, but you just brought in some random guy that never played. And we talking about commitment problems. And so I felt like it was, once again, for their homeboys, which is fine. You know what I mean? So I wanted to go off and start my own league. I wanted to bring in Ryan and Mikey from the start, not because I'm their fucking friend. Shit, me and Ryan got into it bad. Me and Mikey don't really get into it, but me and Ryan get into it all the time. But it's just, this is who we've been playing the game with. I like playing people that can fucking play, make me play better. I don't want to kick out all the competition. And then we're beating up on fucking Maniac Mac and J2GR or whatever his name is.
So right there is where it got weird for me, was like exactly what you're saying. So the whole boys concept is what I thought the league would be. Then you added like 25 people, and I was like, oh, okay, we're doing it like NRG. It's gonna be a big league. And then I'm reading like the rules. I'm reading the way they're going about things. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not gonna, because you devote a lot of time to these leagues. Like, I'm waking up before work. I'm staying up late to play these games. I'm building my team. I don't want to be in a situation where like come September, it's like, Teddy's bothering us, get out of here, or like making rulings against me. Like, that's how it kind of felt like it could be, because it wasn't going to be as like black and white, stern as NRG might be. So that's where it was like kind of getting weird. So I DM'd Jay and I was just like, Jay's like, oh, don't worry about it. Just like hang around. Sean's telling me to just go pick a rival team and go fight them. I was like, Sean, it's not that serious. I'm okay with not playing CFB. It's not my thing, if anything, like if there's not going to be. Yeah. So that morning of or midday, I don't know if it was Jay's texting me like, hey, I want to
Just fuck all these.
What'd you say? Not Sean. Jay,
Sean,
so
Sean.
Jay hits me up and was like, I was thinking about starting a league anyways. I wanted to commission my own private league anyways. So like maybe you could hop over there. And I'm like, yeah, just let me know. Hit me up. You have another league. Maybe I'll play in that, depending, whatever, just to practice. And then I just get a text from you that's just like, yo. And I was like, yes, let's do it. I had full feeling what was going on there. And at that point, which I want to make clear for everyone watching too, like there was no league conversation. There was no like side chat. There was no like big undermining. Everyone was full into this league and supportive of how it was going. No one was like, just we're not doing this.
And that's what I told Miles. So I think that's what Miles was mad about. So after I talked to him about that, he kind of calmed down. But that's why I mean, I can understand why they probably thought that, but I don't understand why they thought. Like, I don't have any friends, so nobody in the league has no loyalty to me. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even feel confident doing snake stuff without it. Because I know everybody talk to people in the DMs. You know what I mean? So like I said, I was at the gym that day, working out, fucking just pondering on it. And I was like, hey man, fuck it. And I actually at the moment I thought like my gaming career might have to be over. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna find another league as consistent. I might find some leagues to play in, but it ain't gonna be as consistent. So I'm like, hey, I'm taking this chance right now. And if anything, I just fucking start a small league with my boys for the little fun I could have. But I would say I ain't gonna say luckily, but luckily it worked out to where everybody I guess was feeling the same because the messaging and with once again, I don't like talking about my career in the military and stuff like that, but that's all I know, right? But like growing up in my career field in the Army, hey, messaging is the biggest thing about my job. How do I message this? How do I win people over with their minds, right? And so if I want you to come be a part of something that I'm starting and I'm new to doing it, I should make you feel like you're valuable. And so if I tell you, hey, take it or leave it, we don't need you, even if I don't have nowhere to go, you tell anybody tell me that day. My wife come to the house say I don't need you, I'm leaving. I probably ain't got no plan, but I'm leaving. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like it's just a messaging, man. That's all it took. I hit up everybody that I did hit up after the fact. Even Jack. Me and Jack ain't been the best of friends. I hit Jack up. I think I sent you the message. Hey, come be a part of something. We want you to be in the league. I think that simple piece of value makes people want to be a part of something as opposed to saying, hey, this is what we doing, take it or leave it, fuck you. So, and that's what I was trying to tell B. Like, I'm happy I did back out because I didn't want to be a part of that. Like, I didn't know that was going on either. So, but that's just my personal preference on that.
Yeah, so just like for anyone watching, B, the crew, you guys are all joining the league. Like, so we talked to B after all this, right? So on our end, we're just thinking like this kind of fucked up. And while it may have been to some extent, we're talking to B. I'm on the phone with him yesterday, called Bobby a few times, and overall, it seems like everyone just had a different mindset for how this league would go. So like B was telling me, like, let's just say there's 4 in their crew, 5 in their crew. On one hand, Miles is trying to like kind of recreate NRG in a sense, like leadership, rules, people in there, their boys, friends, same thing. On one hand, Case and Trav just want to like maybe play with them. B want to just play back on the couch of a dorm with their 7 boys, just playing college football. So they're kind of like in that whole mindset of, oh, you can leave. Like, you don't have to be here. That's just how they're kind of saying that was intended, was you can leave. Like, this isn't some big league if you want to play with us. But on our end, we're in there. It's all, what was it, 95% NRG members?
Yeah.
So we're all in there thinking the same kind of way of how we're going to go about this. So I think that's where the big confusion kind of came about. And yeah.
And even with that, like you said, NRG, and that's why, like, for Ray, for people that have a problem with Ray being on the committee now, it's like if we're gonna take his structure of the league, the least I could do is offer him a team and be a part of the committee. You know what I mean? I didn't have to think of no rules because he has them. Now, do I plan on changing some of the rules? Definitely, hopefully. Like, I think we should be able to run dime when we want, but you know what I mean? I'm still gonna wait till the game. We still gonna wait till the game come out to make those type of decisions. But still, the structure of it came from him. So how could we not invite him to the league? You know what I mean? So it's like that.
More
That's the type of
importantly, the
shit.
members. That's like the other thing. It's like it'd be like walking into a town and just being like, everyone come with me. And it's like, to what? Like, if let's just say in CFB they're going one way away from Ray, and then Ray wants to pull back. It's like, all right, so you picking NRG or you picking CFB? I mean, new league versus what we've been doing for 10 years, So it's kind of like that situation where all the members came from NRG, so you kind of had to pay them some level of respect. I'm not even talking about just us. I'm talking about like everyone in that league is kind of like they all came from this league. So it's kind of tough to be off putting on any of them.
Even Maniac Mac. I mean, Mac. If I didn't have a heart, Mac, you wouldn't be here. It's because it's I hate you.
Oh, I like Mac.
Shit, Jay wasn't having it. You know what I mean?
He's like a not controlled me.
But I look at it a
Yeah,
lot
'cause-
deeper than that sometimes. Like it's like we might be the only thing in Mac's life keeping him from fucking crashing out. You never know. The same thing with Ryan. Like Ryan tried to play tough all he wanted, but you could tell Ryan was hurt. Shit, I would have been hurt. Like fuck, I've been playing games with y'all forever. Y'all was gonna shit on me. So it's like, bro, it ain't that deep. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like I told Ryan right after, I was like,
Yeah.
listen, like I still hate you, but like you're number 31 and 32, you and Mikey out of our 30. So like I don't know how I was talking shit in the other chat left and right. Like this is like a nice break for Mike and Ryan, but at the same time, it's like this is the group, and I'm not built to exclude one person of 30. I don't know how to do it. So this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna bring everyone in. Even Celtics guy, Pats guy, like they stuck it out through the rough months of energy. That's not I could barely stick that shit out. That's a horrible time of Madden.
Yo, not everyone
Man,
came in and
man.
dominated.
Bad team, didn't get to pick, little to no respect, going 0 and 30, Miles dropping 90 on him weekly. I mean, he stuck through it. So I think he's at least gonna be able to stick through CFB, I think. Outside
My
of
man
some
got
Chris's.
Tennessee.
And he got a
You got
good
a good
team,
team. Tennessee's good.
Yeah, he got Tennessee, man.
really good.
Like, it's my team's good.
I'm
Really bad.
disappointed.
So
Disappointed in everybody in that.
So next point here, moving on. So that's CFB 1. We're in CFB 2 now, which we get into it. So we start building some rules up. We start putting the structure into place. The first thing we're talking about is team selection. So team selection is somewhat similar to what CFB 1 was going to do. The only thing is I think we added transparency and more consistency to the whole thing. Like it was just commissions only. Everyone else is in a bucket following total member concept. So Bobby, just go into that a little bit. Like, how did we put it in a way where we could do favorite teams and while also not excluding people to like last pick? It was like a way where everyone kind of worked, especially for CFB.
So for everybody that's worrying about how that happened, so one, I say it worked out perfectly. Like I don't think we had any complaints, which I was expecting that just based off everybody's tone building up to college football. I didn't really hear many people wanting the same teams anyway. And then, the goal was to give people their favorite team. So instead of promising people their teams up front, kind of use this thing called total member concept. And so with our spreadsheet in my head, what I did was gave points. If it was your favorite team, you got points, right? Bam. And then I use the thought of what we call perceived commitment, meaning we're not using NRG's commitment because you're not loyal to us right now. You were loyal to Ray in NRG. That makes sense. So I can't say that you're going to be loyal to us in this league, but what I can do is gauge it with a perceived commitment rate. All right, so bam, I think you'll probably stick it out and play the whole year. So that, and then based off, your team submission and some, your chat activity and stuff like that. And not even saying your chat activity had to be like as active as we are, but as long as you're showing up and stuff like that, that kind of gets you different places in the total member concept until we can establish a actual total member concept package. That's all we got to go off of pre-release, right? So I will say with the teams that got submitted, everybody for the most part, except for Chi, because Chi fails to pay attention, I guess. He, for some reason, thought he was going to get Ohio State and Oregon. Got the teams they wanted, you know what I mean? And I'm happy it worked out that way because it alleviated everybody from arguing or having an issue with the total member concept or asking too many questions. And so that's the way I thought it was going to go anyway. So that's why I didn't want to release an order because an order would have pissed y'all off. You know what I mean? If I would say, hey, this person here, they'd be like, well, how do you put him here? And then I would have lost leverage on trying to get people to their favorite team as well so they could play with some passion behind it. So it's like, all right, starting out, this is what we're gonna do. So for next year though, hey, if you suck, you might drop and you might not get your favorite team next year, but at least for the first year, you know what I mean, it worked out perfect.
You know what
I'm gonna be a beast.
You know what I think with the favorite team thing too is I think in Madden when you're looking at the team selection, it kind of changes the way you pick your team. So not knowing anything, like knowing what no one picked, I was like, I'm fine with LSU. Had I been like watching like the ticker go down, like Bama, Georgia, and I'm talking about outside commission, if I'm picked 6, like right outside commission, be like, well, shit, those are like 5 of the best teams in college football. I'm taking a good one too, because Madden's like that too. If we start the thing off and Ray takes Niners, I take Giants, Sean takes Titans, Miles takes Jags, Travs takes Ravens, then it's like people are just following their favorite teams. Matt takes Packers, everyone's like going where they want to be. When we start off with me taking Chiefs, Miles taking Bills, Rays the Niners, suddenly it's like a space race, arms race. Like everyone's just gonna start picking the best teams available. So I do feel like that's part of why that worked. People were just like going for best teams. Like I picked one from Florida, USF, because he's from Florida, so he didn't care to get like a 5-star program. So I feel like that was the difference here too.
Yeah, and then hopefully with the ability to change up conferences, we can make them as even as possible. But it kind of, so people can't even say that we swayed those in favor of us. The SEC is clearly stacked with a lot of talent. The only person on the outside right now that's going to be looking for a home is Ryan, and so he might end up in the SEC somehow. I don't know yet. Right?
How do you
So it's
feel
like,
about that? Do you think that you water the SEC down a little bit and bring some to Big Ten, or do you just bring people up and try to stack the two, like, or do you keep it the way it is for authenticity?
so obviously it has to go to a vote. It's all of us that vote on that. I off the top don't think we mess with the SEC at all. I don't think
Nah,
it's a
that's
reason to
bad.
mess with the SEC now. I think at the least we will have to get another conference to as many balanced teams to balance them out. But I don't think we need to mess with the SEC. I mean, we got me, you, Mikey, and Trav. That's 4 Super Bowl winners fucking finna be slugging it out. And then, Pats might be decent. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like it's a lot of competition in there. And I do think Ray will get fired at Boise State and join us in the SEC at some point. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be some talent. And then we got B Texas A&M, and who did
Jay is Bama.
Jay is Bama. So yeah, the SEC is stacked. And so I think I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't want to put out too much and then we fucking backtrack when it releases, but it
I think we
might
got to
just
see how
be
the game
too.
works too. I mean, for all
Yeah.
we know, the settings are different. The way you can customize is different. What you can and can't move. I hope
Yeah,
it's be
so
open, but
yeah. But
where's
once we get
Sean?
the game, it'll be
What
good.
is
I'm in
he?
the Big 12,
Big 12.
I
He's
think,
by
right?
himself, right?
I got
What's Oklahoma State?
Rampage.
Big
Yeah,
Ten?
And who's Oklahoma State? Someone's Oklahoma State?
Maniac
man.
Matt.
You're in the Big 12 with Mac. If Real Talk ends up switching to Colorado at some point, or anyone does,
I'm with Max.
I think it's
Yeah, he
just
was mad.
Mac.
But so I wouldn't, and that Ryan is going to be like the chess piece in this thing. Like Ryan's going to, if it's a weak conference, that's where Ryan's
Well,
going.
there's like 4 big college conferences, right? It's like SEC, Big
Called the Power
10,
Power Five.
and then Big 12, right?
ACC, and then Big 12.
Yeah.
Right.
So you just got to fill those 4 pretty much
Yeah.
evenly.
SEC and Big Ten, the only two that matter.
Yeah. We'll see, man. I think we'll leave that for the next podcast. It's a lot of stuff up in the air.
Yeah, I guess I got to see how the game even what it allows. Like, I'm interested in those custom schedules. We were talking earlier today. Like, I feel like custom schedules can actually be pretty fun just based off of how CFB unraveled in the offseason. Just Keys versus Reed, FSU versus Virginia Tech. That's got to be a game. You know what? I mean, like I said, we're gonna go through all this later, but I feel like that's got to be a game. Boise State, Ray's talking a lot of shit. Ray's saying he's gonna win a natty with Boise State.
He's not, but so from what I heard though, we only can change so many games, so that's why we have to play the computer. I think Miles and them told me that, so that's why we have to play the computer, is because we only can change the few non-conference games, and none of your rivalry games can be swapped. So that only leaves you, I think, probably 5 games to wiggle each year.
That's still good.
If that's the case, yeah, that's still
You could
good.
definitely create like custom rivalry games, and then you could also just balance the schedule out if any, they're playing a bunch of bad teams.
Just imagine like you're somebody like Trav, who Florida this year has a hard schedule already, and then we make his 5 games heavy hitters like that. That's
Yeah,
that's gonna be crazy. But at the same time, I plan to base it around like the college thought process, right? Everyone needs at least a warm-up game somewhere in their season. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be real. Either way, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot. But definitely expect, if you've been talking shit to somebody, if you got a real rivalry in the chat, y'all should be battling it out.
I like that. I like the feature a lot. I always hated how Madden schedules work.
Yeah,
Just
random
random.
shit.
You never know what you're getting.
Unless you play them in the NFC or AFC championship, you could pretty much guarantee you're gonna play them week 1 or week 2.
You guys think college football will be more popular than Madden?
Without a
V1.
doubt. Without a doubt.
If you
Yeah.
look at, man, college football, well, college football funds America, man. So I don't see how it wouldn't be. Like, I got people that don't play Madden. That's when they hop back on college football. And I
That's
never
really cool.
played Madden before. When in 2004, I didn't touch Madden. I played it with my dad growing up, but it was all college football.
It's year one. There's just no way. Like even I'm excited. I don't even know what I'm looking. I don't even know what I'm talking about in that chat half the time. And I'm excited about it. So at this point, it's gonna be new. It's gonna be different. I like new teams. I was getting bored of the whole Chiefs, Ravens,
Same
Jags,
32,
Bills. Like
exactly.
it's the same teams and they don't reset rosters. So like it's now like year 7 of me being in the league, like Josh Allen, Mahomes. Like I feel like I've been with them so much at this point. It's kind of getting a little stale. Like you can't find a new avenue to like do something different. I know Sean tries by picking the worst, most dog shit team available, but I'll be
Fun.
different just because there's a lot of change in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is going to lead to our next point too. But this is for Jay to take because it's more so Jay's around. But that's the important part, and that's why I think I'm gonna love it so much because you have to build your team every year. You can't just draft a 21-year-old or tank like Mikey does every year. Get 6 top picks, all 20, 21-year-olds, build them 99, and then I have them for 10 years. I mean, at most you'll have a 99 overall for a year and a half, 2 years. You know what I mean? So, and then the schedule is not. I don't think it'll take us as long to get through a season as it did. Well, recruiting, I don't know how recruiting will actually play out in Dynasty with 32 people. I think that might be the tricky part for
I
those
mean, if you
who.
sit on the game, I feel like if you're on there for at least 45 minutes, you can get through it for that weekend, whatever you
Yeah.
got to do. I don't think it'll take that long.
Remember, we
So,
got the God Lovers Real Talk. And Real Talk's consistent, man. I knew that most people wouldn't have an issue or make this hard, and Real Talk found a way to make it hard with team selection. He didn't make it too hard, but he tried. But yeah, that's all. I think it's gonna be good. But recruiting is more so Jay's lane. I really ain't been looking at all the old videos yet because I don't want to get spun up thinking this was gonna be, and then they drop some bullshit on EA or
Yeah.
on the 19th. But it's Jay
All right,
lane.
Jay, talk about what makes this exciting versus Madden. So Bobby kind of set you up there. It's like what we've been used to for the last 5 years of arms race, first 3 seasons, get your team stacked, get your rookies in, and kind of ride that out the rest of the cycle. Trading is not a thing. Like go into like what's going to be different about the way you approach this game because it'll probably help. I mean, 25 of the guys in here aren't even CFB heads. They only play Madden or haven't played CFB in years. So what changes from a building perspective?
Well, with NCAA, it always kept you busy. You're going to have to constantly recruit. Now you can text guys. So that's a thing. You have to actually study what type of team do you want, what type of player do you want, bench. They got all kind of categories. You can categorize people and sort them. The way recruiting was set up in the past, which hopefully is still like that, you can sort by speed, bench press, as I just mentioned, and squatting. In your scheme with people like Sean, you can just find that scrambling quarterback, and he can recruit a quarterback every year if he wants to. Now, with the new thing with the transfer portal, he'll have to feed that guy if he promises him, a certain amount of stats and things like that. But I think this year, this would be my first, connected franchise with NCAA, but I don't know. It depends on who's in your division. I know Mikey and Ryan will probably try to find the best way to recruit somebody. Recruit. Put emphasis on that word. So, but they'll figure something out. But it's just like a wait and see approach right now.
And that's what I was trying to tell people, like, so for this, why I was so big on getting 32 is because if you know how college football really works, it shouldn't be many 5 stars. So I know a lot of the people that don't know much about college football is probably banking on getting 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars. And every year, every recruiting cycle, there's only 10 to 15 people that's rated at 5 stars. So if we got 32 teams, some of them might get 2 or 3 of them, 4 or 5 of them 5 stars. So everybody's not gonna get 5 stars. So you got to actually go and do your homework. You can't just bank on getting these 5 stars every year to build
I
your
did see
roster.
that. I was going through the 24/7 whatever website, going through the recruiting class. I saw LSU only had one 5 star. Outside of like Georgia, who else was at the top? There was like 2 or 3 at the top that got like 4 or 5. Everyone else had 1 or 0.
Ohio State, yeah.
So
Yep.
I was looking at that. I didn't know that. I always thought like they were just loading up the roster every year, but it's really just you're getting one game changer. And that leads to my next thing with Jay with about team building. Because
Yeah.
when you're playing Madden, you're trying to get your 2 or 3 wide receivers, a good running back. You're kind of trying to like frame out your team so you have a full offense. In CFB, can you ever really do that? Or are you always gonna get like one game changer that you gotta like build around and then kind of fill out the rest?
It depends, like I said, it depends on your play style. If you're looking for the speedy receiver, the receiver with height, or you're looking for the fast running back, you can always categorize that and put that in order. With recruiting, it might be difficult now the way they're perceiving it now from the things I read. And right now, like I said, it's like a wait and see
But you
approach
can't
right
have
now.
like you can't have like 5 5 stars on offense, right? Like getting the 5 star QB, wide receiver, like you might get one now and then get the next one 3 years from now when the other one's leaving, right? Like you're not able to just get all of them all for one run like that, unless you're starting off with Georgia, like
In
Bob.
the past, you were able to,
To
and
do
in the
what?
past, you were able to recruit multiple 5 star quarterbacks or athletes. They'll have them as athletes, and the athletes will be quarterbacks. It's like I don't know if they changed it yet, so we'll have to see that. But you can recruit multiple players, but with the 5 star, like Bobby just said, you don't want to fall in love with the 5 stars. You'll miss out on a lot of good players if you're not focused. If you're focused on just 5 stars, you could build a team on 3 stars if you're really focused and you know how to actually recruit and study and look at stats and look at all the info that they give you. It just takes time. So, like I said, we'll have to sit there and learn how the system works. So they supposedly are supposed to change a lot of things. So we'll see.
I just hope that with the recruiting, and I know it's a game, so it's going to be hard to do. I just hope it's not like in Madden, right? Like in the free agency, if I did a certain thing with an offer, I pretty much knew I was going to win it. You know what I mean? With these 5 stars, like
Oh yeah.
we get a 5 star quarterback like Nico. Nico was highly sought after, Archie Manning on the game, right? That level of quarterback, everybody gonna be going for him. So you got all 32 users probably trying to shoot for this guy. So I don't want it to be something that they can do. Like I want everybody to be on the edge of their seat until it gets released who the kid committed to or whatever the case may be. I hope it plays out like that.
Yeah.
But because I mean, recruiting is dirty. I was just reading an article how everybody's shitting on Kirby. So this kid we finna get, he just decommitted from USC. He said everywhere he go, people talking shit about UGA when he get there, and so that's what made him want to come to UGA. So I'm hoping like I just hope the recruiting brings another rivalry to the thing. 'Cause, you know, if I'm trying to get this quarterback because I ain't got one and you take him, I'm gonna be pissed. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit.
Right.
I do hope there's more randomness to it because that's how I felt that's where I felt Madden has trended in the last 4 or 5 years. Like you do this and you'll get this. So it's kind of like a cookie cutter approach for years, except for and then there's drafting, which I think is just not a good system. So I hope recruiting kind of adds some more excitement because I wasn't really enjoying the offseason in Madden as of late the way I used to.
I had a great offseason, man. I wish I'd have had that offseason sooner.
Which one?
Trey Nolan Smith was the best thing I could have ever did.
Have you seen Nolan Smith? He's a 99 overall.
I don't give a fuck. You see the picks I got? All of them 99s. They would have been.
That's separate podcast. I'm not gonna start talking shit about the Eagles. I'm gonna let that go. New features. So one that comes out to me is the switch stick. Do we think it's gonna be all that, or is it gonna be one of those things that it's just they brag about it doesn't work? I personally vote. I think it's gonna be great but it's gonna be a skill gap type thing, kind of like free form passing.
Yeah, and people have to learn, just like you said, like free form passing. And I know it probably won't work how we think it's going to work messing around with EA. So we'll have to wait and see that. It sounds
banking
good.
on it.
It sounds good, but until I actually do it, that's when things will change.
Because I still use Classic. I don't use Freeform. So I'm doing, and I'm doing what I've been doing, unless it's just something that's that crucial to change the game. But I ain't fucking with that new feature. Like that shit might be off the game next year. So I mean, I hope it work out for people that think they can read the whole field and move two people at the same time.
I honestly don't think it's gonna be so freeform freaks me out. I don't use freeform. I feel like that's like a little too much thinking during the play and trying to like aim and do other shit while I'm trying to just get off the ball. But the switch stick is something I've been trying to do for years and it doesn't let me do it. Like I'll see a pick in the flats, I see my linebacker there, and I'm hitting B and aiming in their direction, and I see that the throw's gonna go there, and it doesn't let me do it. It just starts sending me all over the field. So I feel like I already kind of do that. So if it works, it'll be even better. Currently, I just do it and get sent around. Like you ever do
Yeah.
that? You see you see over the middle, you see a guy crossing you on an in route, your linebacker's there, you're trying to like switch up to him because you know you could just play it, but it doesn't let you.
If that's the case, I think people are. I mean, I say Ray do that shit all the time. Ray be clicking on defenders and pushing them over while the ball in the air and shit like that with his KOs. I mean, if that, I really didn't even look at the video for switch stick because I'm not excited about it at all. For me, what I'm excited about is wear and tear. Because if you get fucking Jalen Milroe and run him 4 times, I'm hitting him out of bounds. And it's like it's gonna be some real
Is it
thoughts
injury?
before you get
Is
down
it
there.
injury? Is it like decreased stats? Is it stamina? Is it all the
It,
above?
it slows you down. So if you if you're a running quarterback and you get hit by a linebacker in the legs 4 times, I think it starts changing colors. Like go from yellow to dark orange to red. So red, I think, starts decreasing your speed. And if you just keep doing it, yeah, you're gonna get hurt. Yeah.
I've seen videos where guys talk about they lose 30 overall as the game goes on with the wear and tear system. So if you got a quarterback that's a 90 overall, he'll go down to a 60. His throwing power, if you hit him in the arms, his throwing power will get lower. And so you got to be mindful. Like Sean said, you like to be a dual threat guy, have 2 guys. You might want to do that as far as going back to recruiting too. So.
But even with
3
dual
running
threat
backs.
quarterbacks, man, dual threat quarterbacks still don't take hits. And that's what I think is the important part with this. Like, because if you look at college football, if they did not put this in, you can get Jalen Milroe and go berserk, like just all day. And so I think it was crucial for stuff like that, like keep it realistic as possible. Because Jalen Milroe, I mean, he a big guy and shit, but he not getting hit. I mean, he not taking them hits over and over again. So, but also that's another thing that I'm skeptical about with Madden. I just hope they do it right. I don't want to fucking come in the game.
Madden added that. Like that's my problem. Is Madden added that. Like I know it was last Madden, the whole stamina. If you look at your player on the health page, I'm health page, fatigue, and what happened this year was just 12 injuries a game, especially in the first half of the year. So I hope it's not a thing where you're losing all your 5-star guys because you're actually playing with them, and then we got to get to a point where we make a ruling to turn it off because it's just causing issues. Kind of like we're doing now with fatigue and Sims.
Yeah, I just hope
I
they
say
do it
deal
right.
with
They do
it.
right.
Gotta use your depth pieces.
That's a guy
have
can't
speed.
with no depth.
Turn it. Well, yeah, as I'm saying, we turn it off. I'm gonna just have Spears all over again. I don't mind it, but
I don't
that's
know,
what's
maybe
gonna
there's a
happen.
reduction for it. You can cut wear and tear to 75%. That way it doesn't knock you to a 60 overall in the fourth quarter.
Shine is so high.
Yeah. You got to watch these podcasts in two different views. Watch who's speaking, and then watch Sean's like transgression from start to end. First, he's moving around, he's getting his weed, then he's rolling, then he's talking to his girl unmuted in the corner, then he's putting the show back on, and then at the end, he's just zoned out, very happy to just be a part of this and just watch what's going on.
I got the fights on in the background too. I got some parlays going on.
I can tell. I see the light moving on your face.
I got it's good day, boys. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just wishing the game was out. Game was out, I'd be smacking Bobby right now in Georgia.
Yeah, I ain't gonna, man, that's a long time, bro.
In Georgia, you have to clarify because Bobby's not traveling to no trash ass Kansas State.
No Boise State. He's not going.
Bro, listen, that's how college football works, though. You got to think. UGA
Don't bigger schools like pay? I mean, little schools pay schools to go there?
If you want me to come to Kansas State, I need you to cash out me $25. I put it on cash.
How about reverse? Can Boise State come to you?
Yeah. So they come because they, it's for they don't get no like if UGA goes to Boise State, right, or a smaller school than that, they know they're going to have a record. They're going to reach the record capacity in their stadium. They're going to make them money, so they pay them. They pay them to come. Mm-hmm. But I don't think the small schools don't have to pay UGA. UGA just need practice. So
I just want to know when I do the schedule and I put Boise State at Georgia week 1, that's okay with you?
Hey man, I need
Do we keep Ray in the Mountain West or what?
I'm just saying.
Hell no, man.
I want to see nothing more than Ray getting angry, missing throws of the 60 overall QB, not feeling like God. Like I hope these aren't sound bites for the end of CFB like the last Madden podcast was, but
It's going to be. He's gonna.
So,
I mean,
but
no Fred Warner, no Fred Warner just playing defense for him, no auto sacks. I want to see him bleed and complain about. He won't complain about it. He'll bullshit me because that's what he does. But I want to see it.
but
From what
in
I was
college
told,
football,
linebacker
man,
was jumping.
yeah, college football is one of the trenches. It ain't gonna be the athletes. Like the athletes gonna be there. You know what I mean? You could build athletes, but when your offensive tackle is getting pancaked over and over and over and over again, you frustrated. That's where the game gonna be different. I don't know if y'all watched the gameplay that they did release, and you watched some of them offensive linemen from Georgia throwing them little kids on the ground, and shit like that. That's the difference between the schools. The
That's where my
trenches.
next concern was with like so I was like where Ryan is kind of right. I'm a Madden head. I'm not a football guy. Let's say I'm a Madden head. I know how to play the game. I know how to build and what you need at what spot. So in my head, I'm thinking same thing. I could take Colorado, the 3-star team, get the athletes, just win some games. But on the flip side, if the game's coded correctly, I did look at some of these teams. They're gonna have like 55 overall, 60 overall tackles. If the game plays the right way, your 95 overall ends should fuck up my tackles. If it plays like Madden, I could rock out with 50 overall tackles all day. So if that plays a part, the whole team as a whole is gonna suck.
But I don't understand why y'all be saying that shit, because when I had 50 overall tackles in the game, I got fucking dominated.
Only
Joey
against
Bosa fucking
ends with edge threat. You can ask Jay. We've had so many conversations. If you don't have edge threat, a 50 overall tackle is keeping you down. That's why I rock with a 60 overall line most of the year.
Yeah, and that's something I am looking forward to, like the mental abilities that's in this game. Like it's not just physical ability. Like they got like mental abilities and shit like that. So I want to see how all that plays. I hope it does, play out how they briefed it. And I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be a lot better than Madden. Like you said, a motherfucking Jalen Ramsey doesn't guarantee a knockout every time he throw to his side of the field. So nobody on Madden should be doing that. So every hit in there at big moments, if I'm the type of player that likes playing on the road, like Travis Hunter or something like that, yeah, you know what I mean? So it brings that mental edge to it as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's another thing we're gonna have to talk about at some point. Like, do they allow us to customize abilities? Are they locked in? Do we allow duplicates? Because they're mental abilities. They're not guaranteed. It's not. I mean, I know Ronnie his ass will find a way to just get 12 mental abilities on one side of the ball and 99 awareness, but I wonder how that's gonna work. If they're not that OP, do you allow duplicates? Do you allow customization?
so. From what I saw though, I gotta look at the video again. I ain't even gonna speak on it. I don't know. I don't even think you can pick and choose your abilities. I think
That's
it's
what I'm
like an
saying.
archetype. I think it's like an archetype, and then you unlock them like badges.
Mhm.
So
That'd
I
be
don't think we.
I haven't heard. I haven't seen a video where they spoke on if you can change them or not, so I don't know
Yeah,
either myself.
and that's one thing that's aggravating about college football. Is they ain't saying shit like man.
We should
They,
see a new video on college football probably next week. Though. It's getting closer and closer. We out what, like 22 days out now, something like that.
Mhm.
Around
If
that
it's
range.
anything
So,
like Madden, they drop a database across. I mean, this CFB, it's a lot bigger. I don't know if they're gonna do it, but they drop a database usually like 2 weeks before. We could just look at rosters and stuff. I think that'd be really fun and like a good experience. Kind of look at something a few weeks before.
I doubt they do, man. You gotta think it's 134 times 50 or 60. I think college football teams
yeah.
are big.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they do it, but I always enjoyed that. I know Sean sits on that website about 2 to 3 weeks straight before Madden comes out.
Just to
I
pick the
never can
sorry
pick a
team.
team.
This guy's just put the weed
Kansas
down, man.
State. Kansas State gonna kill it. You guys aren't seeing it.
That's
Who
not
the
You
even
guys
running
don't
backs?
see it.
Tell me
that's
the
not even
running
what I
backs.
said.
What's the running backs you
I
have?
don't know any of the players. I looked up fast quarterbacks, and they had a white quarterback that had like a long ass hair, and it said that he ran for like 4 touchdowns. His name's what's his name? Avery Johnson, I think, something like that.
I
I
gotta
don't know.
look
I
that
know
up.
you got Dylan Evans. I know that.
This guy's about to have a
Yeah, well,
60 overall quarterback with 91 speed. And
yo, you guys are about to find out the triple option is coming to Kansas State. That's what I'm saying. I'm excited. I love running the ball. Now you get to
Jay,
have a nice option game. Like,
what's the name? Mac has the best player on the game though. Avery Johnson, yeah. Mac has the best player on the game though with Ali Gordon.
Who's that?
He's gonna be the
Running
best player
back.
in the game.
Running back.
Yeah.
Running back.
Huh? Running back. Yeah, he nasty. Probably the best player in college football right now this year.
Who do you guys
Max,
think's gonna win year one?
I'm gonna go ahead and just say Bobby. I'm a slow learner, so it takes me a little while to get adjusted. So
It
might
ain't
keep my ass
focusing,
a couple
man.
times.
Yeah, even the camera knows it's bullshit. Blurring him out. No, I'm in the
Listen.
same boat as Jay. I usually take half a season. Like it's the same thing every year. First 8 games, it's like, look at Teddy. He sucks this game. Without his stack. And then by like week 9, I'm usually like figuring it out a little bit. Come playoff time, I'm usually like pretty solid. It usually takes me a season though. I don't think I'll do it in year 1.
So I'm in the same boat I was with the Eagles. Like I'm rusty early too. It take me a while to learn, but my roster is ready to win now, and I can't guarantee it's gonna be ready to win later. So I kind of need to go ahead and win. I think it'll be between me and Chubby, man. Ohio State gonna be stacked. USC nice, Cav team nice,
No,
Kansas
Clemson
State.
nice.
Chubby's dog shit, but his game style can win games, but he had a dog shit team. If he has like 5 stars and 90 overalls everywhere, and he could just play that pussy bitch ball he plays,
Amber.
you might be able to do something with that.
Yeah,
Just
but
kill the clock, throw 1 pass every 3rd down, convert it, get back, kill the clock.
but if Chubby play like that, he gonna lose a lot of them
Liquor in that
receivers
cup.
to the portal. All them boys
Oh, yeah,
5-star
a little bit.
receivers.
Oh yeah.
So
You think he cares?
We drive, am I
He
driving?
want to build a team.
I'm just saying, I'll be waiting. If that's the case, I'll let him
No, you're
beat me
right.
by running
I'll
40
wait.
times. He want to run 40 times? Don't worry. I'll be here for
Hey,
them 5 stars when they
what
transfer.
about a glass of milk?
What's the prediction on the crew? Miles, Trav, B, and Keys are all coming back. What do you guys think year 1 for them? Let's start with Keys. What's Keys
How
doing?
many what?
What they do with Virginia Tech?
Nothing.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
Nothing.
Yeah, I say nothing either. You know, I'm gonna be honest. He don't even know who's on Virginia Tech team. I don't know. I know he don't know. All he knows is Florida State.
Tech, nothing. I think he gonna beat Reed. I think Reed gonna beat him for a few years. Probably the whole season if everybody's played like they're supposed to. Trav, he took Florida. I don't know why. They do got a pipeline, but he ain't gonna enjoy college football. Miles got Clemson. So, and that's the thing about Clemson. They overrated on the game. I think they got like a 97 overall defense from what I saw.
I saw that too.
That could be a problem. And then
And they're in the ACC, right?
B ain't got back to his old ways yet, but hopefully college football bring it out. I think all of them were kind of, from what they were saying, not as enthused about Madden as of late. They kind of been waiting on this, so hope everybody bring their best. I don't know, you know what I mean? But
I think Trav will do
UGA.
well in Florida.
Man, Trav ain't doing nothing.
He got a dual threat quarterback starting off, 5-star. It might be good. It might take him a year or 2, but I know he'll play well with him. But you know, and who else? Miles and Clemson, that's a sneaky good pick. He got a decent quarterback. And Texas A&M, I don't know, they got a good pipeline too. Like you said, B, I don't know the old B because I wasn't here when he was dominating and playing well. So, but I think they'll do all right. They'll do pretty good.
So Texas A&M, 2 years ago, Texas A&M had the best recruiting class in history. Right. So I think they still got a little bit of those players left.
They had a good recruit class this year. I think they had that 5-star athlete guy. That's what I was asking you about.
Kansas State have a good recruit class?
I had to scroll so far. I was the website down to find your team on the recruit class.
Oh, God damn it.
You're like a 35 to 50.
Yeah.
Time to build them.
But hey, man, them stars don't mean nothing, man. Once they get to college,
stars don't mean shit, man. What do you fall in love with that shit?
Who do you think between now and like kickoff changes their team?
The USF. Nah. Mac. So I don't know. It'll be smart for Mac to change because after Ali Gordon leave, that team is shit.
Right.
But I play Mac, don't I?
Yeah, you play Mac.
I think it should be the guy with USF.
You don't think Ray switches from Boise when he sees the ratings? You don't think Keese gets over his depression, just like I'll take a regular team? You don't think Sean regrets this shit in like 2 weeks now that he has the option to change? He's never had that before. He can change.
Sean might change. Ray is being prideful. The thing that worries me about Ray, I feel like Ray is only going to be committed until Madden drop. That's what's worrying me with Ray's approach right now. I hope that's not the case. Hope he can balance both.
He probably has a competitive edge. I feel like Ray's competitive where he would want to show people up in college football.
But that's the point. He's not. And so it's going to be.
Damn. You know he's gonna screenshot that part.
In my head, there's like, I think there's two outlooks on it. Either one, he's just like, I got a month of this. I'll take Boise State. I'll mess around, whatever. Like, I don't know, because he does have Madden to get back to, Niners overall, league, etc. So I don't know. He'll be sending me this shit in 3 months as Boise hoists the natty.
Well, I like about college too. Like, if say like I get like say I do all right, say I go like 10-2, so I'm out of the top playoff, like the top 12. I guess I still get a bowl game, right? Like I still get opportunity to play for something.
Yeah, you
that's what I'm saying. That's what I like about college.
You got to win 8 games.
It's 6 or 8 between that range. It was 6 a couple of years ago.
So you can go like 8-4 and still get a bowl game.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Cool. What do you get from a bowl game? What's the benefit?
Just a trophy.
In real life, in real life you get paid. But that helps. Like if you don't go to a bowl, you ain't gonna get no recruits.
Right.
Yeah, man. Kansas
I
State
know you
doing
can use
real
that
good
for
bringing in these 3 stars, man.
Who got 3 stars?
Kansas
State.
There we go.
Kansas State has 61st class in the nation. Number 60.
You gotta look up Avery Johnson when he played Texas Tech. That's what I saw. I saw 5 rushing touchdowns, and I was like, bet, lock it in. He's gonna be a running quarterback.
Now, Kansas State used to be a power. They used to be a dominant team. So if you could bring them back to glory, hey, more power too.
I mean, you got one kid, your defense end, Jordan Allen, here, freshman, 4-star recruit. I mean, at least you got a pass rusher.
All right. I got a fast running back.
Yeah, you got Dylan Edwards. He transferred from Colorado.
Oh yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
You're terrifying. You picked the team very confidently yesterday. You don't seem to know shit.
Oh yeah, he's
about your team.
He's one of the people that's changed his team. Definitely.
Yeah. He's not on the roster on 247 yet.
Nope, guys, we made it through our list. I think that covers our episode 1 for CFB. As much as we can go through now, I think we'll have a whole new set of topics come like week 2 of Dynasty starting.